Did you know that the average Canadian salary is around $55,000 per annum? That's a fascinating figure, isn't it? But let's pause for a moment and delve a bit deeper into what this number really represents. You see, while this figure may seem straightforward, it's actually the result of a complex interplay of factors such as occupation, education, and location. In Canada, like anywhere else in the world, your occupation plays a significant role in determining your salary. For instance, a software engineer may earn more than a school teacher, and a doctor typically earns more than a retail store manager. It's the nature of our economic system where different jobs command different wages. Education, too, is a key factor. Generally, the higher your level of education, the higher your potential salary. Those with a master's or doctorate degree usually earn more than those with a bachelor's degree or high school diploma. But remember, this isn't a hard and fast rule. There are plenty of successful individuals who have forged impressive careers without the benefit of a higher degree. And let's not forget location. Salaries can vary greatly from one city or province to another. In bustling urban centers, where the cost of living is higher, salaries tend to be higher as well. In contrast, in smaller towns or rural areas where the cost of living is lower, salaries may be less. Now, it's important to remember that while the average Canadian salary is around $55,000, this doesn't mean that everyone is earning this amount. Many Canadians earn more, and many earn less. It's a wide spectrum, with people at different points along the way, so it's clear that there's a wide range of incomes in Canada. But how does this compare to other countries? Let's explore that in our next segment. If we take a global look, the picture becomes even more interesting. Now let's compare the average Canadian salary to those in other countries. In the United States, for instance, the average salary tends to be higher than in Canada. But don't pack your bags just yet. It's important to remember that factors such as cost of living and taxation can significantly influence how far that salary goes. Over in Australia, salaries are comparable to those in Canada, but with a higher cost of living, especially in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne. Meanwhile, in countries like Germany and Japan, salaries tend to be lower than in Canada, but these countries often offer strong social services that can offset this difference. It's not all about the money, though. Let's consider Scandinavia, where salaries might seem lower than what you'd expect. But these countries also boast high-quality public services, robust healthcare systems, and a strong emphasis on work-life balance. So while the paycheck might be smaller, the overall quality of life can be higher. On the other end of the spectrum, we have countries where the average salary is considerably lower than in Canada. However, it's crucial to note that these countries often have a significantly lower cost of living. So while the raw numbers might seem less appealing, the purchasing power of those salaries can be quite substantial. In countries such as India and China, for instance, the average salary is lower than in Canada, but the cost of living is also significantly lower. This means that a smaller salary can still provide a comfortable lifestyle depending on the region and living standards. And let's not forget about taxation. Countries like Switzerland and the United Arab Emirates might offer high salaries, but the taxation system can take a sizable chunk out of your paycheck. So, when comparing salaries globally, it's essential to consider a range of factors, not just the number on your paycheck. Things like cost of living, taxation, and social services all play a huge role in determining how much you really take home at the end of the day. This shows us that salaries and incomes can differ greatly from one country to another. But what does this mean for you? Now that we've painted a global picture, you might be wondering where you fit into this. Let's dive right into it. It's time to determine where you stand on the pay scale. This isn't just about curiosity. It's about understanding your worth in the current job market, and it's crucial for negotiating fair pay. So how do you find out? Well, there are several resources available to you. Websites like Glassdoor, PayScale, and Indeed provide extensive databases of salaries across various industries and regions. They offer a wealth of information from average salaries for specific roles to the impact of experience and education on pay. One thing to keep in mind is that these numbers are averages, and they may not reflect your unique skills, experiences, or the specific demands of your job. They should serve as a starting point, a reference, but not the be-all and end-all. Understanding your earning potential is also vital. Let's say you're a software engineer. The average salary might seem high, but don't forget to factor in the long hours, the continuous learning, the pressure to keep up with rapidly changing technology. All these aspects can affect your earning potential. Moreover, it's essential to consider the cost of living in your region. A six-figure salary might sound impressive, but if you're living in a city with a high cost of living, your purchasing power might not be as high as you think. It's not just about how much you make, but also about how much you keep. So consider your expenses, your lifestyle, your long-term financial goals. Negotiating your salary is another critical aspect of this process. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about what others in your field are earning, the better you can negotiate for a salary that reflects your skills and experience. Knowing where you stand on the pay scale can empower you to make informed decisions about your career and financial future. So, we've taken a journey from the average Canadian salary to a global comparison and finally to understanding your own place on the pay scale. It's been quite an enlightening expedition, hasn't it? To recap, we've discovered that the average Canadian salary can seem surprisingly modest or generous, depending on the lens through which we view it. We've also learned that, when compared to the rest of the world, Canadian salaries hold their own quite well. But perhaps the most crucial revelation has been understanding where each of us stands on the pay scale. It's important to remember that knowledge is power. The more we understand about salaries and incomes, both at home and around the world, the better equipped we are to navigate our career paths successfully. Understanding where we stand on the pay scale is not just about knowing our worth. It's also about recognizing the opportunities that lie ahead and the steps we need to take to reach our career goals. In the grand scheme of things, it's not just about the money. It's about satisfaction, fulfillment, and the sense of achievement that comes with knowing you're being compensated fairly for your skills and efforts. So as we wrap up, let's remember the importance of continuous learning and staying informed. It's a big world out there, with countless opportunities waiting to be seized. Your understanding of the pay scale is just one tool in your arsenal, but it's a powerful one. Use it wisely. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, you're ready to take the next steps in your career journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more informative videos like this one. Thanks for watching.